Well, hey everyone, welcome to Gundam Explained, the Gundam Explained podcast. That is episode 50. It's awesome that I'm at 50. It's very cool. I'm Adam Blue. With me is Steven of Midnight Hatter. Steven, how's it going?
Doing well, buddy. How you doing? Congrats on 50 episodes.
I know, that is very cool, and that made me think how. Oh wait, Ian is saying something. Does anyone notice low audio? But G is saying. No, okay. We'll see. We're low audio, but G's saying nope. It's nice and loud for me. Okay. Well, we'll see as we go.
Good.
What I was about to say is that's like almost close to 52, and that's like a year's worth of podcasts, which is pretty awesome. But also I just wanted to shout out. Awesome to see everyone in the chat. Robert, we've got our mod Ian, good friend and mod. Good to see you, Ian. Glad you're here. And Robert, as always. Jedi Sayla 79. I like that Haro thing, the little Haro icon. I love Haro. We got G in the house, or as known as Goose, in our Discord as of recently. And then there was Struth. I guess someone that you know, Steven.
Yeah, Struth. How's it going?
I love that
I think that's the same Struth.
Well, I love that he knew that this was the song that plays during the stream starting. Whatever is from a shmup. And I wonder if he can type in, or anyone knows which one specifically, because it's a game I love. And then going down, we see Lucas Garrett.
Yeah, maybe we can come up with a gift here. If anyone can, the first one to hit the chat with the name of it, I'll come up with something to send your way.
Ah, that's nice. I like that. Make it a little
game. 50th episode of celebration.
I like that. So let's see. Yeah, well, good to see everyone here. A lot to talk about today. Someone in a video made mention about Newtype powers. I thought that would be a good discussion. So we'll dive into Newtype powers. I mean, that could go on forever, but we'll make it short so we can get to the other topics. Like there's some more video game news, some interesting stuff with GBO2 and Battle Alliance. I got some more gameplay details because I'm all about the gameplay in these Gundam games. So I'm really curious about that. And then we'll look at Patreon questions. We'll talk about some of the stuff we got into this week. But also real quick, subscribe if you haven't. Audio version available everywhere. Just let me know if there's not one. I think Robert pointed out actually one that I didn't know about. So I'll have to do that. Join our Discord. There's a Patreon as well. There's a giveaway going on. And you know what? I need to make a video, which I'll try to do this weekend, where I'm actually going to explain the different community events going on. So we have the giveaway. There's a giveaway video that you can comment in to win some stuff. There's the Gunpla community build, and then there's the Gunpla contest, and then the movie night. So that's a lot of stuff to cover. So I'll do that in the video. As I catch my breath, Steven, what have you been up to lately, if anything at all? I know we had our stream yesterday.
Yeah. You know, as always, we had a great discussion yesterday over on Midnight Hatter about time travel in video games as a mechanic and as a story device, as well as just discussing retro gaming, which was pretty cool. Yeah. But specifically related to Gundam, this Monday I dropped a video painting a RGM 79 ground type GM miniature that I 3D printed, so that was pretty cool. And I did also show off that I got this, for those of you listening, it's the Zaku 2 Char Custom HGUC Revive one. Extremely inexpensive right now, and I'm trying to put together some 3D print resin conversion kits for high grade kits, so that people don't have to go out and spend $300 for a master grade or a perfect grade conversion kit. But I also just came in today. We have the Zaku 2 Char Custom from Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin. I think it'll be interesting to compare these two, because I noticed something, and maybe you've seen this before, but apparently the shoulder shield on the Revive version of the Char Zaku actually has the same notched ports that the Origin Zakus use to store those extra bazooka shells. So I'm wondering if there's any compatibility between these two kits. We will find out.
Yeah, that'd be cool to find out. But also, I guess you have your for your Gundam 5e, you have a character creator that's almost finished.
Yes. Fingers crossed that I can figure out the final piece of the puzzle that allows people to save their characters. Currently, you can create characters willy-nilly, and that's no problem. They all get stored to a Google Sheet, and most importantly, you can actually choose which Google Sheet you want them to go to. So that allows people to kind of control their own data, which I think is really cool. They're not stored on any of my servers or anything like that. So I'm looking forward to debuting that as a feature for Gundam5e.com.
Yeah, I think that's pretty sick, actually. I mean, that just, like I was telling you, that kind of invites in people that are just more into Gundam and not tabletop, but they want an easy way to get in. So, yeah. Hey, and good to see Rogue Newtype in the house, Neon Wave. So cool that more of the peeps are joining us. Well, yeah, real quick.
It looks like there's a lot of people that have that Char kit. Maybe we should organize a second community build.
With that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, people show that off. Yeah, because I haven't built that one. Actually, I think my son did when he was, I think, trying to impress Dad and pretend he liked Gundam, but I don't think he cares. No, but yeah, this week with me as well, a bunch of things came in, and I even had a video up of the Char action figure, which I think is awesome. I love that stuff. But a bunch of pre-orders came in that I've been waiting for forever, and I'll show them off real quick. This is that Saikamu Zaku, that P Bandai. I just have it with all the effect parts on it. I mean, this thing looks sick. I love it. I'll be doing a review on that. As well,
it's got so many effect parts. It's amazing.
I know. That's like the cost alone covered that for me. I just love those little thrusters, which is also on this, the ground Gundam, but the desert type, which is really cool. And then last but certainly not least, my favorite thing here is the Hazel, the Metal Robot Spirits Hazel. Yeah.
That is the thing of beauty. And show off the stand. For those of you watching, the stand alone on this Hazel is just it looks like a piece of plate glass with the model number kind of engraved on it. It's pretty sweet.
And it seems like Metal Robot Spirits come with this. That's what it seems to be. Because I think it would be cool if they came with most Robot Spirits, but it seems just to be the Metal Robot Spirits. And like, for instance, the non-Metal Robot Spirits came with, kind of that standard stand that you see, that you can
little action base.
Yeah. But also, I'm finishing up my Mark II. I'm almost done with that. And then so I have a lot of video content to come in. Oh yeah, because what I wanted to bring up was I just got this, Metal Robot Spirits Hazel, but I finished the Gunpla of the high grade of the Hazel, and I did all the details to make it as accurate as possible. But when I looked at them both closely, they have very different details. So I think when I do my video review, I'm going to compare them because it's actually pretty interesting. A little differences.
Yeah, because I loved your comparison of the two Zegoks, the Char Zegok. There were so many, especially in the joints comparison.
Yeah.
So that's...
Yeah, I found that interesting too, comparing those things, because it's like some people want something that is accurate to the anime, but then I feel like with the Robot Spirits line, they try to just produce something, the non-ver anime, or with the high grade, they try to produce something that just is a interpretation, I guess, that's not being drawn as a cartoon, but being made in plastic form. I don't know. But yeah, speaking of comparisons, actually, I don't think that was a good segue. But I have my videos that I did this past week. I did the Char Zaku, and I actually compare it with the the Char action figure. I compare it with a Star Wars action figure. I compare it with a Xenomorph in that scale. And then the Southern Cross Explained, because that's that new group of Zakus that's in Kukusdoan's Island, and I just thought they were sick, so there's a video of that.
They're so awesome.
What's that?
And your video breakdown of them was amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Anyone who hasn't seen that video yet, please go back and watch it for the reaction faces alone.
Yeah, that was fun. And it was weird because when I was originally watching it, that's how I felt. And that was the first thing that came to mind is the Vince McMahon reactions, because when they introduced the Southern Cross in Kukusdoan's Island, it's just like that. It just levels up in the action scenes, and
so those guys really kick in the door when they come on the scene. Yep. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Well, Let's go to oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna read this. This is from Patreon. This is from Goose. Is there a story you want to tell in any of the Gundam timelines? If so, oh, hold on. Which timeline would it be, and theme or premise of the story? So, Steven, you have anything yet, or should I go first?
Why don't you shoot first on this one?
Okay, so my idea is something I've actually been thinking about, because it's if, I was to write a fanfic. The idea would be, it takes place during the 1 Year War, which I know is not original, so UC timeline, 1 Year War, yeah. It would take place, like, on the outer reaches of the Earth sphere, like beyond Axis. And then I do know that there were, some vessels that headed out toward Mars and Jupiter for resources anyway. And I know some of that is slightly explored in Gundam, but not too much. But I would love it to where it's a section of the Earth sphere where the mobile suit is still like an early thing, even though the 1 Year War has been progressing. And there's a lot of people in fighters. And so it has more of that jet fighter feel, both on the Zeon side and the Federation side. And I would like it how it progresses is mobile suits are slowly starting to be introduced. And then that's kind of changing things up. And it's almost like Thunderbolt in a way, where they're like the horror movie aspect, where the mobile suits just come out of nowhere and just destroy the core fighters. And then I would like it to lead to, like, in the middle of all these crazy space battles, it would be like a Revenge of the Sith style, like, ship battle thing going on. I don't know why I envision this, but a giant Gundam head that comes out of a carrier ship that just arrived from a testing facility, and the Gundam head comes out and it shoots all these Saikamu fin funnels everywhere. So it's like an interpretation of taking the Gundam, the Saikamu system, but they've like just built like a giant head that rises out of this ship and then shoots all. Anyway, I feel like there would be some cool stuff, kind of taking the stuff that happens in Gundam with the mobile suits and the fighters, but focusing on it differently.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds kind of like a fever dream. I love that. The way you describe it is very passionate and very. I mean, I can visualize in my head what you're talking about. Just the chaos of battle enveloping everything, and
yeah.
But I guess if I had to come up with a similar, story to tell in the Universal. Well, of course, I'm going to go Universal Century as well because I'm another grognard. But
wait, what? Wait, a what?
A grognard?
I don't think I've ever heard that. What is that?
It's an old like D&D term for like old guy that like used to play the early editions, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, but I got to know my audience when I tell these stories.
Yep.
So I think that, obviously I'm going to be looking at a Universal Century story, and I think that it's probably going to fall sometime after the 1 Year War. Not too far. I'm probably 0082, 0083, something like that. And I want to kind of change the tone a little bit, because we get a lot of the, 8th MS Team and Thunderbolt kind of had that very grounded, more realistic military melodrama to them compared to the space opera, Star Warsy feel that you get from the original Gundam series.
Yeah.
I kind of want to take it in almost a horror direction, where maybe you have a team of, small mobile suit team that's sent to investigate something. Maybe there was a Zeon ace that was, somebody like Gato, Nightmare of Solomon type, the kind of a larger than life character, and almost diving into that situation where, and this is kind of inspired by, there was an old Marvel Comics mini series about the Submariner, who is generally, a hero, but there was a mini series about like some sailors during World War II that went out into the middle of the ocean trying to find Submariner, and it turned out to be this like deep sea monster. That's the kind of vibe I'm going for, where you have a small mobile suit team that's going into unknown space, maybe some debris from an asteroid, looking for, an old Zeon ace that there's these horror stories of how dangerous he was, and maybe they meet their end. I don't know. We'll see.
I like that. I do like that. Even though I never really ask for stuff like that, to have like genre kind of exploration within Gundam UC would be pretty interesting, because they tend to stick to a specific theme, and I guess that makes sense because then that's where the AU comes in, where it kind of changes up. But I think it's a good idea for them to do that with UC, kind of, and sometimes they do that. I would say, like, even with MS Igloo, where they introduce that Lady of Death, almost changes the tone in a way where it's like, what? Well, that was my reaction anyway. But hey,
Yeah, I dig it.
oh no, I was just gonna say, Brian Zanichelli, good to see you. Let's see, who else jumped in? I think I saw someone else.
Lucas.
Oh well, I scrolling on this, I am not good at that. I got to get better at that. But anyway, no, okay. So we got that stuff. Yeah, good question. Thanks, Goose. What I wanted to jump into now was the update with GBO2. It's got the Sinanju, which was shocking to me. I mean, I guess it shouldn't be shocking because we got the new Gundam and the Sazabi, but to also get the Sinanju is pretty sick. And then I should have actually had that picture. Actually, is the picture on here? No, that was in someone's YouTube video. I saw a picture of like the step up process that you're guaranteed the Sinanju at 7, and you get full frontals mask at like 10 or something.
Yeah, I think it's 10 or 11.
And I think Rogue Newtype did the math in the Discord, and I think it was something like you have to spend over $200 just to get that.
Which it's something like 280 tokens, right?
Okay, which is crazy because that's the thing. When you go buy the tokens, I think they come in like 60 perhaps, or I think it's right under that to make you buy more. But then there's the fact that each roll costs 30 tokens or step or whatever, and then they have a couple that are half off, so they're only 15. But if you think about it, I mean, it's a free-to-play game, yeah, but it almost seems like a suit is a cost of a game. You know what I mean? Like, every time a suit comes out, you almost have to spend as much as it costs to buy a game to get the suit.
Yeah, sometimes a lot more.
And there are people that are cool with that. Then that's actually pretty cool. I just couldn't do it. I think I would lose. I would spend all my money too fast.
Oh, my wife would leave me.
No, that's funny. And I guess they have some other cool stuff too. A random pilot item as a bonus. A Neo Zeon 15 normal suit, because there's a bunch of different suits that you can wear as a pilot in GBO2.
Interesting that they didn't release the Unicorn and the Sinanju at the same time, the way that they did with the new Gundam and the Sazabi, right?
Yeah, and also you said Sazabi, which is probably the correct pronunciation. I was saying Sazabi. Sazabi.
I was going to say Sazabi is how they say it in the movie, in the English translation anyway, but let's...
No, I love that stuff. I always like to...
Let's not go to that because...
I always love, I don't know what it is about pronunciations, but anyway, yeah, the Unicorn. That would be sick to have. It's just that aesthetic is very interesting anyway in Gundam. Like, it's a very unique looking mobile suit.
It is.
And the thing...
Would that be the one to break 750 on the cost?
That's literally what I was going to bring up. Because I even think 700 is low for this. The Unicorn would have to be more. So maybe that is why they didn't introduce them both, and then maybe they'll introduce like the Banshee along with it, and that might be up there. I don't know. That'd
be pretty cool. It is a strange thematic jump, right? Because last week we got the Hyzak cannon, and this week we get the Sinanju. That's like...
yeah, that is kind of weird. I do like they go back and forth because it made me not expect this.
You'll get whiplash watching these announcements.
Yeah. In the chat, Autonomous, good to see you.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, that does pay for the free-to-play game. Yeah, so Autonomous is right. Like, you still get a lot of stuff in this game for free. That's... even though these things cost a lot, you still get free things. Neon Wave. This is exactly why I stopped playing GBO2. Loot boxes, microtransactions. If they just sold each suit individually without loot boxes, I wouldn't have left. Oh, I like my money too much. And that's another thing. I wonder if they just sold the suit for, and I'm just thinking in terms of Fortnite,
Yep.
like $10, $15, I don't know, for a skin. I mean, really, I
even
probably
like
wouldn't.
some of those newer Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 2 and 3, the
Yeah.
remakes, you can buy the skins for like $5.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can unlock them by playing the game,
Oh,
you know,
that's
and,
nice.
and achieving certain things. But if you just want to pay for them, then you can just pay for them. And I think that there's a little bit of that going on here because obviously you could theoretically
Play.
pull a Sinanju, but
Yeah.
you know, I think that the price tag associated with it is a little too high.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's just and there's actually an episode of your podcast where we talk about this in more
Yeah,
detail.
we go in depth on Gotcha.
Yeah, and I just think it's where different cultures are like in between how to monetize the player base, and yeah, who knows what they end up doing. And actually, a good way to look at it is what we start seeing with like Evolution, Battle Alliance. But speaking of Battle Alliance, so there's a couple things that I found because I follow like on Twitter. So lately they've been showing a lot of awesome action from Battle Alliance, which I like. It's like the combo based fighting. You know, I like games that have like in-depth mechanics, real-time mechanics. Not only have they talked about juggling combos like we're seeing here, but they also have countering. There's another video where someone is the Zeta Gundam, and they're showing how as enemies are attacking, the Zeta Gundam is able to like block and counter. So the fact that
Very cool.
that they're adding all these layers of gameplay really makes me more excited about this game.
Me too. There's a channel that I follow over on Odyssey called The Shirt Lad, and he did a video recently where he breaks down some of the older Gundam Versus games, and he talks about them in a way that I'm not used to hearing because he describes them as 3D fighting games.
Yeah.
And you know, in a strange way, you know, I've always thought of them as like arcade shooters, but you know, there's combo mechanics going on, and there's a lot more depth to the Gundam Versus line than I think I ever gave it credit for. So I think that that's a unique take, and I think that Battle Alliance is going a similar way.
Yeah, but I do think because of stuff like Virtual On, yeah, and I guess it depends because you got into the Versus games since the PS2 era, maybe even PS1,
Yeah,
or PS2 with the.
PS2 was the first one I remember, but
Okay.
I could be wrong on that.
For me, the first time was Versus on PS4, but since I've always loved things like Power Stone, Virtual On. Like my thought going in was, oh, these are fighting games, and so for me, it's a little intimidating because with fighting games, it's all about learning the movesets, understanding your character's movesets, and on the other end, understanding your enemy and your enemy's movesets, which is a really cool challenge. To be sure. So there was some other things. Someone detailed some other information about Battle Alliance. So for instance, there's a limitation for how long you can guard attacks. I like that because that adds just more depth that you got to think about as you're playing. Let's see. Yeah, they're talking about perfectly time your guard against incoming attacks for special attack animations. You can stun, get a bonus. Oh, there's weak spots you can aim for. And they're saying back attacks, so maybe it's just that. And then the mobile suits are divided into 3 categories. There's infighters, so high HP, high melee, low range, all-rounders, and then the shooters. Okay, I think we knew about that one already, but that's just still cool. Raid bosses, let's see. First option of bosses, oh, that's just some other information. And then here's something else. It's reverse platform only. So you can only play with others that are PS4, PS5, or Xbox and PC, or just Switch. So, and the Switch has local offline exclusively, which, I mean, I only really play local games if like my kids are interested.
I'm hoping that I can convince my wife to play this one with me. So.
But what platform would you get it on? Switch?
I would probably pull the trigger on the Switch just because, you know, beyond Breath of the Wild, I don't have a ton of Switch games that I'm crazy about, and so having a Gundam game would make me get my money's worth out of it, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I guess I haven't really played my Switch too much outside Breath of the Wild. I mean, I've dabbled in some of the games, like, the platformers are fun.
Sure. Are you going to go for it on the PS5?
PC.
Oh, PC. Yeah. Interesting choice.
Yeah, I think
I'm interested to see how it'll play on PC.
Yeah, and I'm hoping good. I mean, I think PC, it's easy for me to make content for it. And, I recently upgraded my PC, so I really need to make use of it and not just play retro games all the time. But, okay, that's cool.
You're just running Doom on this.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I got my new 3090. I don't have a 3090, but, let's play Doom. I mean, that's... let me jump into the chat real quick. A lot of cool stuff in there. Man, I love it when you guys.
Yeah, I see a lot of people sharing some of their ideas for various Gundam stories.
Oh, okay.
Some post Gaia gear. I heard Salem mention basing the story on like something like Firefly, which was great show.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. That be like a group of pirates, and then I guess they get they go from like it would almost be like a Garuda or some other ship that these people have, and it could be just X-Federation, Zeon, just all on the ship, and their main thing is they're just looting during the 1 year war. Like, they're trying not to play any side, they're just taking advantage. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lucas Garrett, my Gundam story would bring in... Oh, yeah, that was what we were talking about, the post-Gaia Gear mobile suit tech, rediscovering Psychoframe tech and create space-time effect. The protagonist then uses his Gundam to go to the 1 year war era. Oh. Some time
You've created a time paradox.
Yeah. That's actually pretty cool. And then
no, that's awesome.
Ryu Ganokami, good to see you. Thank you for your delivery. I am looking forward to the SD Gundam Battle Alliance. I used to be bad at crossovers when I was young, but now I'm used to it. Well, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, curious to see your take on it when it comes out. Oh, you know what? Robert is asking if the call-in is available, and it actually can be. Let me... jump into that, and then Steven, if you happen to jump in, I will mute you, and then we can test that out. So yeah, guys, I just put that up.
Sounds good.
Let's see. Anything else? Oh, Ultronymous, gotta make the Switch worth it, LOL. And I feel bad because the Switch actually has a bunch of amazing games, but I feel like other than Breath of the Wild, it's not like they're as revolutionary as Nintendo usually is with their games. I think this is them making up for the Wii U lost time and just building their audience back up again.
Yeah.
Because they're just re-releasing a lot of Wii U stuff. I mean, even on Switch, one of their top-selling games is Mario Kart 8, which was a Wii U title. So, it's very interesting. Let's see. Oh, Brian Zanichelli, Gundam Extreme is releasing the RX-93 FF New Gundam. Yeah, I saw that in the Discord Ian posted. So, yeah, that like new Gundam that's built life-size, that's actually going to be in the Gundam Extreme game. Okay, yeah, you know what? Let me do something here real quick. I'm going to mute you, Steven, because I'm going to pull in... first, I'll pull in Robert, since he brought it up. Let's hope this works.
Well. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully, it works a little better than our previous attempts.
There we go. That was a little weird. Some technical issue. Robert, can you hear us? Well, Robert, we will try this again later. Goose, I'm going to bring you in. Hey, Goose, you there? And I can...
I'm unmuted.
There you are. What's up, man?
There we go.
How much? What you guys up to?
Nothing. Just talking Gundam on this glorious Thursday evening. What's going on?
Nice. Trying to listen to this as best I can while I'm at work.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Just wanted to ask you guys, how do you guys feel about the new ST mobile game coming out?
Oh, the Battle Alliance?
No. Battle Alliance is the one on Switch. It's the SD...
Eternal. G Generation.
Eternal, thank you.
Eternal, yeah.
Oh, the mobile game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you and I had expressed opinions on this before, and I think you put it best, right? Is that it always struck you as more of a mobile game anyway, right?
Yeah, because that's something like when I play it on, those games. Now these are like the strategy games. When I'm playing it on my PlayStation, It is. I used to play these games a lot on old school systems, but it's like nowadays that's very much a portable thing to do because it's a quick jump in, make some choices, have your focus brought to something else. You can come back and not really mess up where you're at. I guess, yeah. Goose, with you traveling sometimes for work, I guess, is that a game that you'd be playing a lot then?
Yeah, I've actually got the SD degeneration and
that's right.
crossfades and all that. I've got it on mobile. I actually just pre-ordered the other one through a Japan website to see if I can get it in a little bit earlier, which I don't think it's going to be that much more timely. But I'm going to see what happens. And
yeah.
But I was going to say, I totally forgot. You actually have a mobile copy.
Yeah, that's right. You got it for me. The the Vita version of Genesis.
You need to get one of those pre-owned Vitas and pop it in and
you know what?
Take that around with you.
You are completely right. I've been, even before you got that copy for me, I'm looking at used prices of Vitas, and I used to have a Vita. I have a whole library on there of amazing games. A Vita's amazing. I could see myself getting one again because it was a nice portable thing that you could play easily. It's just a sturdy handheld for that sort of thing. What I actually did end up buying, and you'll appreciate this, Steven, is a PS3. Because I've been hunting for one that's at the right price, and I did find one. Most of them are in bad condition that I see online.
Yeah, I mean, even the one I was going to send you one.
Yeah.
Because I was like, there's so many quality PS3 Gundam games that you need to create content for on the channel. And the PS3 that I had, the power supply went bad on it. So I bought a power supply on eBay, swapped it out, and it still will not power on. So
yeah, and when I look at these listings, either they're boxed and they're $200 or they're under $100 but look a little. So I just carefully read the descriptions, found one at a good price. Goose, have you played any PS3 Gundam games?
I still have my original PS3, and I still have my original Gundam game that came with it day one.
Oh, dang.
Oh, Gundam Crossfire, I believe, right?
Yeah, I still have it.
Wow.
I was actually playing it about a month ago while you were streaming. I think I was giving you a hard time and told you in the stream that I was playing it.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, cool. Yeah, I can't wait to play those games. But anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to see how you felt about the Eternals game coming out the mobile, and if you had any. Are you worried about it being pretty much a gotcha game?
No, because just like with GBO2, they do enough where it keeps my attention. I think that's what it is. It's weird because they don't implement it into the gameplay as much. It's just that you have less to use, really.
Because I know the mobile version, whatever Gundam game they got on mobile for the States right now, is like constantly like, to be any good at it, you have to constantly donate or pay money into it.
Yeah,
and I don't want to do that for an SD game. I'd rather just buy the whole game out.
Yeah, that's true. I would rather just buy the whole game. Yeah. All right, man. Well, yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for calling in. Do that anytime.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. We'll talk later.
Cheers.
Okay.
Have a good.
Yeah, you too. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try again with Robert. You know what? I got to say, I don't like the Discord app as much as the browser. Okay. Hey, Robert, you there? I feel bad.
And it's so weird because I could hear him on the call-in waiting room, but for some reason in the call-in podcast, not coming.
I just double-checked. Yeah, he's unmuted and everything. Well, Robert, we'll try that again. Sorry about that. And I see Neon Wave is in there. I'm going to grab him. Hey, what's up, Neon Wave?
Howdy.
Oh, you know what? Let me, I can turn up your volume now that I'm using the desktop version. So there we go.
Give me a sec. Can you hear me? Is my volume getting louder?
It is a little low. I did kind of turn it up in the server a bit.
But is it getting louder now, or no?
Not really, but I think I can hear you enough. What's up?
Okay. Well, actually, I wanted to talk about 2 other Gundam games that are coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the first one is Gundam Evolution, which pretty much everyone and their mother has heard about so far. Yeah, they just recently released the beta on for consoles.
Yeah.
for people to try out. And well, that's all I got on that.
Did you happen to play it?
No, because I played it on PC when the PC version was out.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah, and I played with a friend, and it actually caused his stream to crash.
Oh, the game itself, or
no, his streaming. I think it was OBS or something.
Oh.
It caused that to crash.
Oh, interesting.
I think because the game was too powerful.
Wow.
But also, there is another game that's coming out for Gundam, and it's a mobile game. Uter Hunt.
Oh, what is it called? Oh, yeah, isn't it an IBO based game?
The IBO one, yeah.
Yeah, do you have any information on that? Because I haven't heard much.
Okay, so the only information so far, aside from the story, which was basically talked about a while ago, they had a new trailer that came out, I think, a month or two ago, where it actually shows more characters and more suits. But also, there was the Gunpla that came out recently for the game itself, which was the new Schwabel Grace Custom, and the Gundam Asmodee, which is actually a typo. It's supposed to be called Asmodeus.
Oh.
Oh yeah, because I mean that falls in line with the traditional like demonic naming conventions of the IBO Gundams, right?
Yeah, the 72 demons from the Ars Goetia. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh.
Me and my Latin. Anyway, yeah. So far, yeah. So aside from that, if you actually go on the Gundam wiki, there's actually mention of new mobile armors as well. At least 2 of them.
Oh, in this IBO game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, I haven't
pretty
watched all of
sweet.
IBO, but they do mobile armors in that?
There was 1 mobile armor in the anime.
Okay.
And, yeah, because the whole lore is that the Gundams were created in order to combat these unmanned mobile armors that were basically wiping out humanity.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot what the percentage was of how much of humanity was wiped out by the mobile armors, because they were just that powerful. I mean, if you saw in the anime, one of them just literally wiped out an entire farming village within, like, less than a minute.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, spoilers for those who haven't seen IBO yet. Yeah, and so all the Gundams, so it was literally like demons versus angels, because all the mobile armors are named after angels.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that'll be cool when I get around to that.
Yeah, and all the Valkyrie frames that are... There's actually one going to be that's actually coming up in Uter Hunt as well. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that word too, and I got it though when you said it.
Yeah, and yeah, no, there's a new Valkyrie frame also coming out, which is also getting its own kit. And each of the Valkyries are named after the 9 Valkyries from... I forgot the name of the composer from the Ride of the Valkyries opera.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, and yeah, as for the demons, we already know what they're named after.
Oh, okay.
Well, the Gundams, that is. The Gundams are named after the demons. But yeah, so far it actually seems like what the plot is for Uter Hunt is that a kid, he wants to make Venus, or at least the colony that he lives on, to be a tourist attraction. And he was inspired by the efforts of Tekadon, so this takes place between Seasons 1 and Season 2. And but what ends up happening is that he and judging by the trailer, several other people, they get their hands on something that leads them on this giant treasure hunt. And so you got him, you got some people from a certain company that are going after it, and every single one of these people is accompanied by a mysterious girl who seems to like guide them towards the treasure. So now it's like this all-out battle between these different factions.
Okay, well, that's a pretty unique story. Yeah, because I started watching some of IBO, but because I'm watching other stuff, I haven't really gone through it, so...
Okay, well, sorry for the spoilers.
No, in fact, I've already pretty much been spoiled about all AU Gundam by now, with all the stuff I look up. It's just now a matter of watching it and enjoying it, really. Well, cool. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, when it comes to the mobile armors that are in the game, one of them, I think, looks like a crab or something. I forgot the name of it, but it's got a gigantic cannon. I think all the mobile armors do. And one of its drones actually looks like a hornet.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool. I'll have to look up those designs, yeah.
Yeah, you could see it on the Gundam wiki for Uter Hunt.
Okay.
And it will show you like some of the images if you scroll down or click on the links towards the pages for each of the the units that are going to be in the game.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, thanks, man.
Yeah, and it's
I have to check that out.
yeah, and it said that the game. Yeah, and it says the game's supposed to come out this year, but I don't know how accurate that is.
Well, and did you hear that it would be
Yeah.
North America at all?
No, but I would be surprised if it did come to North America, because IBO is very popular here. I mean, if they're bringing the 2 Gundam games to North America, and they also brought the Gundam Breaker game, which is another mobile game that's gacha based and is horrible as all hell.
Yeah, they just haven't brought over UC Engage. I wish I would be playing that.
Haven't. I don't know I don't know much about UC Engage. All I know is that there are some original stories in it, and that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've played it. I mean, you can actually play it if you. I know on Android for sure, but it's just there's so much Japanese text. I can't really enjoy the game because I can't really do the dailies or gotcha stuff, or when it says go here and do that. You know how it is. I guess I could translate it, but that'd take a lot of time.
Yeah, well learn Japanese. It's not easy.
You know what? I don't know if I've talked about this, but I took a year of Japanese in high school. It was like because I was playing a lot of video games. I was importing games all the time, and I was like, I'll just take Japanese. And then they ended up not having the second year or something. There was like not enough interest.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, see you.
Cheers.
All right, well, cool. Yeah, guys, thanks for calling in. Well, that was some cool video game talk because, I totally forgot about that IBO mobile game that's supposed to come out. I kept hearing about it. I think it was even supposed to come out by now, like in March originally, I remember hearing. And then it kind of just dropped off. But
yeah, a lot of games have been getting pushed back, I've noticed.
Yeah,
so.
Which that reminds me, even though this is not Super Gundam related, I heard this thing about Sony wanting to delay God of War 2 because Elden Ring will take Game of the Year, and they want to be able to get that.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, that's
because I think they might have saw how it affected Horizon sales potentially, because Horizon dropped like right when Elden Ring did. Yeah.
I mean, that's the rumor about Breath of the Wild too. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is.
They said that they pushed it back a year. They were like, "Oh man, Elden Ring is insanely good."
That's pretty good.
If only a Gundam game that was that earth-shattering would come out. I mean, you're talking about a 40-year-old franchise that they cannot put out a video game that isn't like a gotcha or just a reskin of Overwatch or something like that.
Right.
It breaks my heart.
Yeah, because wouldn't it seem like Bandai would try to come out with a game that's like an event? Like when there's a Zelda coming out, when there's a Souls-like coming out, even when there's a Call of Duty coming out, that has a lot of fanfare. And
Battlefield, all those types of games.
And a lot of times games can be popular despite the IP they're from. So it would be, like GoldenEye, for instance, that kind of spawned out into what we see with FPSs today. So it would be neat if they kind of sat down and say, how could we make a good game instead of like a Gundam themed game? How can we make a good game and it's just Gundam, And that reminds me that UC Engage. Did you ever play it where you can like put it on your phone and try it anyway, even though it's in Japan?
I haven't.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I've seen all the cutscenes that have come out from just browsing the internet, checking out what people have uploaded, and the animation is absolutely stunning. And it's one of those heartbreaking moments where I'm like, they put this much effort into a mobile game that they're not even releasing worldwide.
I know, and I've played it. I've played it quite a bit. It's just I didn't feel a sense of progression of like what I was working toward. What it seemed like I was working toward is you can beat missions in order of like the UC timeline, and it has like the animation of Amuro and everything, and the graphics are great too, even though I couldn't wrap my head around what I was doing gameplay wise, because it seemed like you can just auto. But even then, just the graphics are really good. Okay, one more thing, and then we're going to get to the main topic. I found this on Reddit. So, over in Japan, this is just how awesome or popular Gundam is. It's funny because I sent my family like a picture of the Gundam hamburger thing because people in my family don't know Gundam. They don't care. Like, So when I do this YouTube channel, they're probably like, what is he doing? So I'll show them, well, look in Japan, Gundam is popular. and
I mean, yeah, we've got what is it? Is it Hardee's that's doing deals with Jurassic World?
oh, yeah, I don't know. There's no Hardee's around here. Actually, I
Oh,
think
yeah,
they
yeah.
did, which I approve of anyway. It's Sonic at McDonald's. I'm a big Sonic fan. In fact, I still have some of my Sonic McDonald's stuff from the 90s. Even early 2000s, they came out with like little game, handheld game things. But anyway, this is.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, just Char at McDonald's. I thought this was pretty funny. This is like top tier culture, in my opinion.
I was very upset that my tweet, blame this on the McFortune of your birth, didn't get more likes. I was like, this is Gundam gold, people.
Yeah, I love it. I love this type of thing. And that's what would be so cool about being in Japan. It's just, although, it was funny. I was watching, I don't know if on HBO Max, they have that Tokyo Vice. Have you watched that?
No, I haven't, but people have told me that I would enjoy
Best
it.
show I've seen in a long time. I was always looking out for like Gundam things somewhere because it's a period piece in a way. It takes place in the late 90s, but there was nothing. I didn't see anything Gundam. And sometimes when I watch on YouTube, there'll be people just walking through Japan, like live streaming at night, and I'll like watch and I'll see if I can find something Gundam. I wonder if that's like almost racist of me to assume I must be seeing Gundam anytime I see something Japanese related. Maybe that's a personal problem.
I mean, I'm sure that Japanese people walking through the United States assume that we all wear
Cowboy
McDonald's merchandise.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next topic, and the final one actually for the stream I wanted to get to real quick. Oh, actually, before I do that, just real quick. Neon Wave with Char in the advertisement. You'd think he'd get a few free burgers. Ah, that's good. That would be a good subtitle on that. Yeah. Oh, and Jedi Sayla saw Tokyo Vice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen that, you should see that. I just liked it for the story, but it has a Westerner that's like in the Japanese culture, so you're seeing a lot of that.
That's cool.
Sayla's asking me to post that pic on the Discord. I will do that. Okay. So I just searched image search Newtypes just so there's something to look at. But Newtype powers. Actually, what I want to do real quick is I asked some people on YouTube, can you name or describe different Newtype powers? So John Candib is sensing a powerful aura that feels familiar, which, yes, that's one. So the psychoframe resonance, this is from a gamer, just a gamer. The technology of the psychoframe can only be used by a Newtype for a reason. The sleeping Dutchman. Oh, this is good. Premonitions, being able to sense and control electronics through a self-generated sort of Wi-Fi that's usually enhanced by technology in the cockpit of some mobile suits. Telepathy, telepathic connections that seem to make the Newtype be able to resonate and essentially experience a shared alternate reality that's like a dream state. An ability to accumulate the power of souls as a sort of extreme power source that can even move asteroids entering the atmosphere when enough consciousnesses, or consciousness, are focused on the same thing, extreme empathy that's borderline debilitating. So, for one, Sleeping Dutchman...
sounds very specific. I feel like there must be some example of that happening in lore. I
was about to say that. He like perfectly described what people are questioning happening in Char's counterattack. And then Cheem's pretty sure there was telepathy at some point, and then S3D with Saikamu. So, powers. I think a lot of the ones we are expecting were mentioned. There's the telepathy, sensing something. It's something you see a lot that Newtypes will say is they feel a pressure, like in their head. So it's kind of like you're picking up on it, and especially when Newtypes are together, they seem to be able to pick up on each other. And then something else too that I don't know, you don't need a Saikamu for. I think with the original Gundam, that's the case, is where a Newtype pilot can just control a mobile suit better, it seems, than an old type. Anything else, Steven?
I think that, it's one of those things where, you kind of see that little overlap between Star Wars and Gundam in that regard, right? You know, you talk about the reason that Anakin's reflexes are so quick behind the pod racer is because he is perceiving time differently than the other racers. In a similar way, the reason that the Gundam was unable to keep up with Amuro's reflexes and they had to keep upgrading it was because he started perceiving time in a way that the machine couldn't keep up with his reaction time. So there's a bit of that, you know, force sensitivity going on with Newtypes.
Yeah, and it is pretty cool because a lot of times it seems to be situation-based, and I think that makes sense because at this point in the UC timeline, we're experiencing people that don't know what Newtypes are, don't know if they're a Newtype, and it's almost in line with, you know, even right now in modern society, sometimes we don't know how to handle or deal with emotions. Some people might act a certain way because of an emotion, and I think that's kind of what the Newtype power is showing off. You know, a lot of times if Newtypes are around each other, they are more attracted to each other. I guess not that they're more attracted, but there's an attraction of Newtypes that seem to pull them together.
Yeah,
and then
a magnetic force.
Yeah, and even if there's a situation where someone's focusing really hard on having to achieve something, that could be like the ending of Mobile Suit Gundam and Zeta Gundam, where then like everyone just kind of, even if you're dead or alive, it's almost like everyone kind of connects to give more will.
Coalescence of consciousness, if you will.
Yeah, just like the Sleeping Dutchman said.
You know, kind of like, and going back into sort of the context of 1979 when this series came out, right? You know, wireless communication was something that we were just really starting to get out, right? You know, we didn't have things like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. You know, the best example that we had of radio waves was just straight up radio waves. Like we could send waves over the air, and that was the best we had. And then when you introduce this disrupting force, such as Minovsky particles, that makes radio waves ineffective, all of a sudden the idea of communicating without any sort of touch or any sort of sight almost feels and sounds supernatural to the ear.
Yeah.
It sounds like 5G.
No, that's a good point. The whole thing about it sounding supernatural when there's sometimes a basis in it, especially in life. Especially if you're really, really focused on something, sometimes you can will things to happen. You know, not one-to-one like a Star Wars character or a Force user,
but manifestation.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, no, exactly. Especially if you're like really into something, like me, like really being into this Gundam thing, and then wanting to make a channel, connect with people. Like this has been so much fun. I think I willed this into existence.
I would say so. I think that somebody once told me that one of the reasons that they believe in ghosts is because of the law of conservation of energy, right? And there's like that whole thing about like 7 pounds, right? What's the 7 pounds of weight that human beings lose when they die? They, you know, suspect that that's the soul leaving the body. So if energy and matter cannot be created or destroyed according to the laws of physics, then that goes to say that, you know, the energy that makes up the human body, the human consciousness, the human will, for that matter, cannot be created or destroyed, but only transformed.
Yeah.
And so when you think about that in terms of Gundam, you think about what it means to be a Newtype, you know, a lot of the people that contributed to pushing back Axis from the Earth, and a lot of the people that contributed to Camille's, you know, coup de grace on Paptimus Shirako, they weren't Newtypes in and of themselves, but just their presence. Like Kotz, for instance, was not a Newtype. But still, from beyond the grave, Kotz's presence could still be felt by Newtypes.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of interesting too, because again, because people like to, these ideas sometimes seem very far-fetched, but if you were to research people's near-death experiences, there are so many cases of someone that is talking to someone that just died or dies very shortly. Like without them, like a family member or someone they were close to, like is talking to them. And that could be a coincidence, but it's a pretty crazy coincidence and an interesting one to make that fact in Gundam be plausible, where in these instances you were seeing like the ghosts or the spirits or what have you, you know, during a moment of crisis and focus, like kind of manifest. It's
times of high stress manifest that side of you.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm usually someone that doesn't like that type of fantasy stuff, but I think Gundam handled it really well because they didn't like tell you what was happening. It would be, oh, how did that character do that? And that's almost that feeling sometimes of someone talking about you or someone watching you, and but that doesn't exist. So I don't know. I'm curious to see.
And they painted a very realistic response to it, right? People are terrified of Newtypes.
Yeah, that's another thing too. And then that just goes into the cyber Newtypes. Like, what is it that they found out about a Newtype that they can try to make someone do? And like, I don't ever think it's been specifically detailed what they are trying to do, right? Just that they try to make people into Newtypes. Not like what mechanisms of the DNA are they trying to reconfigure. We haven't heard that, right? As far as you know?
No.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. And then I saw something here I thought was, let's see. So Amuro would have done better in the Unicorn Gundam. This is from Lucas. He was ahead of his time. Yeah. So Steven, I would even say that any Gundam that was made at any time was based on like Amuro, because even as other Gundams were being built, he still had his hand in development, like with the new Gundam.
Yeah, I think that it's funny because, when I was doing a little bit of research, I found out that the timeline where the ground Gundam was developed, it first appeared in the 1 Year War in July of 1979, July of 0079, which was aired in 1979. But Amuro and the RX-78 weren't in the 1 Year War until September of 0079. And so what they say about those Gundams, the ground-type Gundams from 8th MS Team, is that the reason that they didn't perform as well as the RX-78-2 was because they didn't have Amuro's combat data to upload into the Gundam to, enhance its operation, which is kind of that alone is kind of fascinating technology. The fact that you can take operator data and upload it to a hard drive in a machine that somehow optimizes it for other people to use it, right?
And that's how they got the Sinanju, which is actually what I meant for us to talk about last. So let me pull that up. Yeah. Because isn't that the case with the Sinanju? It's not, because it's full frontal is not Char, but he's a clone. And that's kind of that same thing. So they get a new type that's piloting, and I forget, I think they say in here, developed from Sinanju Stein, which was from the Sazabi in the new Gundam. So yes, this is taking that data, combined data from Amuro and Char, potentially. I don't know if anyone...
I mean, you're talking about the two most prolific pilots of the Universal Century to that point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually very interesting. So that's what's cool about this looking. It's a Neo Zeon thing, and you know what? I didn't really think about it looking at it. One thing, I love the sleeves look. I think that's a very unique, cool thing. But the other thing, too, is as much as you might think, and let me see if I can, as much as you might think Neo Zeon, this has more, I would say a lot that's related to like a Gundam or Earth Federation, because that face looks more like a Zeta Gundam than you would see from a Zeon or a Zaku, I'm sorry. And it does have the one fin up there in the middle, so that checks out. But that is actually pretty cool. Yeah, it's got a slimmer profile than you would think. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize the vibes on that, but I guess it makes sense because by that time, the weapons. Oh, I didn't mean to navigate from there. The weapons that were being developed were for anyone that was willing to pay. So, some things about it. Let's see. Developed by Anaheim Electronics as part of the Earth Federation's UC project. So UC project, is that what was related? Because I know there was a name for like the unicorns being developed. Yeah, the RXO series. Okay, that's probably where I heard that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that checks out. Movable frame is partly made from Psycho Frame materials. This mobile suit was then stolen and modified into the Sinanju by the Neo Zeon remnant group known as the Sleeves, and became the personal machine of the group's leader, Full Frontal. And, going back to the Newtype powers, it was very interesting in Unicorn that when he was in the heat of the battle, and I guess he was just losing in a way to where the spirits of, Lala and Char put their hands on his shoulder to say it's time to go, which is a very interesting concept of a potential clone is, what even reminds me, I know we're always relating Star Wars and I even see Goose mentioned similar to Force Ghost. Again, this is kind of getting off topic, but what if like Rey ended up finding out she was just a Force, a manufactured Force project, and especially if it was found out that the New Republic was doing that behind the scenes, trying to create a Force user to help, just in case. Because they knew the First Order was coming.
Yeah.
And that would have been a neat idea. Because it reminds me of
the Force always balances itself out, right?
Well, yeah, it reminds me of Ghost in the Shell, the live-action movie. I really liked that. And it got to a part where you find out, like the character finds out that she's not really her or whatever. Like that concept is very interesting to me when you're like finding, that happened in Blade Runner 2049.
Okay,
yeah. So
I'm gonna spoil something for you right now.
Fine.
All right, because in the chat, Neon Wave brought up the fact that Full Frontal is not necessarily a clone of Char. He was just another pilot that they artificially grafted the personality and appearance of Char onto, which is very similar to the plot of a video game that has come out recently that you and I have discussed that I know that you haven't played. And I don't want to spoil the ending for you, but those of you in the chat,
Wait, is it a game that came out recently?
If you know what I'm talking about.
It's a game that came out recently, you said?
Not recently, but it's one that you and I talked about last week.
Oh, okay. It must be like Metal Gear Solid or something. One of those.
It may or may not be a Metal Gear Solid game.
Okay, that's cool. I'll have to check that out then.
But it's like you said, it's very similar to that, and similar to like you said in Ghost in the Shell or Terminator Salvation is another example of like someone realizing that they are not who they believe they themselves to be.
Yeah, it's like that, and then realizing you were built for a purpose that you might not want to be responsible for. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, that is very cool. Yeah, I guess, and the other thing with the Sinanju, it does have the mono eye sensor to kind of keep it in line. I mean, I wonder if it initially had two eyes and they... Oh, did the Stein have two eyes? I think it did.
The Stein has two eyes.
So that's pretty cool. I like how they deliberately do that. But it's got the Vulcan gun, beam saber, beam rifle, shield, beam axe, grenade launcher, rocket bazooka. A lot of the things... Oh, the external propellant tanks, that's a neat thing to that. The psycho frame cockpit.
Which that's a very Federation thing to do. Beyond like the Gelgoog Jaeger, not a lot of Zeon suits have the propellant tanks on the back.
That's right, because the other one that did was a Federation suit, the GP04. Because that was a Federation suit, and then I think the Remnants, was it SEMA that got it? Or no, Titans.
Yep.
Yeah. Was it?
It was Delas.
Yeah, Delas fleet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Psycho frame cockpit, intention automatic system, a system that directly translates the thoughts of a Newtype pilot into the mobile suit's motions, allowing for far greater reaction speeds compared to manual control. So I've never heard of intention automatic system. Like, is that a Gundam terminology? Yeah, because it brings up even the Unicorn. So that must be a thing with the UC Project series of mobile suits. Cool. Well, that does it. That was a fun show. That was excellent.
Yeah, we got into the weeds a little bit on some stuff.
Yeah,
but I love that.
Yeah, I loved the chat. I always like to go back and read it because there's always some cool stuff going on in there. Oh yeah, S3D showed up. Good to see you. Well, cool. Yeah. Anyway, everyone, thanks for joining. Please check out the Discord or the links in the description. Steven and I have another live stream that's on Wednesdays. The links for that stuff is in the description, and that's a lot of fun. But any last words, Steven?
No. I think just to reiterate, community build. And and build contest, as well as the movie night watch along. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on over on Adam's Discord. So do hit that up, because it's a very, very lively community over there. And,
Yeah.
we would be doing a disservice if we didn't reiterate that.
Yeah, it is cool. It's one of the things that I think about. Like, honestly, I wake up in the morning and sometimes I'm like, wow, there's all these awesome people on this Discord server I can just jump into, talk to. Yeah, it's awesome. So anyway, thanks all, and we will talk later. Have a good weekend.
Cheers. Good night.